O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 16 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new 2024 MDX, $469 a month during our 16th anniversary sale.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and they're the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in that corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you're getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
Take a journey to our Caribbean paradise at Toyota of Hollywood. Get in the groove with great deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a Corolla, not $24,000, just $17,975. You'll be cruising and chilling with super low 2.99% financing. Feel the rhythms of the Caribbean today at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 16 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new 2024 RDX, $419 a month during our 16th anniversary sale.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning. Maybe good afternoon. I don't know. Maybe good evening somewhere where you're at. You might be watching somewhere on the other side of the world. That would be actually kind of cool. But anyway, however it is, wherever you're at, whatever time it is, welcome aboard and thank you for tuning in live or on demand. Always appreciate it. Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend, masters this program every single day and the entire platform. And we appreciate everyone to smash the hell out of the like button every opportunity that you get and every video that you watch. So appreciate you all out there. Let me make sure this is getting its juice. All right. Yeah. Let's see. We got the usual cast of characters. David Furones is going to stop by at 10:30. Manny Navarro will join us at 11. Got a couple things to talk about today on the show. Obviously, we'll go off of your comments and questions and all kinds of stuff there on the chat board. We'll have some fun with that.
Looks like the problems from this weekend's Copa continue as the fingers are now being pointed. The CONMEBOL blames Hard Rock Stadium for the unruly fans. So the CONMEBOL was subject to decisions made by Hard Rock Stadium authorities according to contractual responsibilities established for security operations, the organization said in a statement released Monday afternoon. In addition to the preparations determined in this contract, CONMEBOL recommended to these authorities the procedures proven in events of these magnitudes were not taken into account. We regret that the acts of violence caused by malicious individuals have tarnished a final that was ready to be a great sports celebration. So, what you're basically getting, and here's the part that we don't know because it's interesting how they mention the contract in that statement. Listen to it, okay? Because in that statement that they released, they said, in addition to the preparations determined in this contract, CONMEBOL recommended to these authorities the procedures proven in events of this magnitude, which were not taken into account. And then they also say was subject, CONMEBOL was subject to decisions made by Hard Rock Stadium authorities, according to contractual responsibilities established for security operations. You don't have the contract. I don't have the contract. They're saying they went by the contract. They're saying that they made suggestions to Hard Rock Stadium and to the city on what they should, on the things that they normally do for these kind of events, and that they were shot down. So I'm not sure what went on here. See, because now we're getting into, well, actually, we're only in a he said, right? Because Kava didn't say shit. Well, I'll just look into it. And she has no credibility whatsoever. You know what I mean? I mean, she's horrible. So, you look into it, which means nothing. She's still trying to figure out where to burn garbage. So, I don't know. But lawsuits are going to be directed somewhere. And it's going to be directed to, I would imagine, Hard Rock Stadium. I would imagine maybe the county is going to be involved in all of this, and CONMEBOL. So this is just, now it's finger pointing. Now CONMEBOL could be covering their asses for lawsuit purposes. So that's why they make this statement, and that way they can no, that was their fault. But the contract will say it, and this part will come to light. We haven't see the people on the Hard Rock and the county side have not pointed fingers as CONMEBOL is pointing fingers. Anyway, so not a good situation. I mean, the whole thing was a disaster. Either way, you weren't prepared. That's all. And if you're the authorities, police, and you start seeing all these people pack up on the gates, and, I think she said they had 800 officers. Well, then, you know what? While that time is going on, call Miami Gardens, call nearby, Hollywood, and start getting more officers in there as much as possible. And then you let the shit hit the fan, and all of a sudden you couldn't control what was going on. So, this is probably a situation where everyone is going to be blamed. Everyone should get the blame here. Everyone. Because you allowed a bunch of, criminals and hooligans and just lowlifes to run all over your stadium and do whatever the hell you want and trash it, dude. You just allowed people to go right through. You allowed people to go through your stadium like it was California or New York. Sorry, California or New York. Don't take it personal, but you guys have open looting there. So you basically allowed, those looters. Oh, and by the way, most of those scumbags are out-of-town lowlifes. Just want you guys to know that. That's certainly not us here in South Florida. Okay? Just look at our track record, just in case if you're watching the show anywhere around the world and you think it's a Miami thing. No. We don't do that here. Okay? We don't act like they do in Philadelphia and in other places, and there's a whole bunch of places I could trash. I'll start with Philadelphia just because it's really easy to trash those fans. Okay? But, every time there's a championship here, it doesn't matter. We're not overturning the city. We're not setting things on fire. We don't do any of that. So it's not a Miami thing. Because, yesterday on Twitter, some guy was like, well, Miami. And I go, no, dude, no. Don't start with that. That's not a South Florida thing. People in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties don't celebrate by overturning cars, or we don't tear up the stadium when the Canes win a title, when the Heat win a title, when the Panthers win the title, Marlins have won the title. We don't do any of that. That's not Miami people. Miami Colombians, Miami Cubans, Miami Irish, Miami English, Miami French, Miami Haitian, Miami Jamaican. I don't give a shit where they come from. Once they're here, they act like the rest of us. Okay? We don't do that shit here. We don't do any of that shit here. Okay? All those animals, and most of them wearing Colombian jerseys, okay? Most of those scumbags were from out of town. Out of the country, out of town, whatever. They weren't here from South Florida because we've proven over and 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 over again that we do things with class down here. We party, we enjoy, we have our drinks, we hit the pots and pans, we parade, we honk our horns, and we go home, bro. And we go home, and that's it. We don't act like most of the Colombians that were the ones committing crimes. Because, I'm sure there were a couple Argentine fans in it, a couple. But it was mostly Colombians. We don't act like that. So all those people weren't from South Florida. Because it doesn't matter what nationality you are, we don't act like that. Because we all come together for all the other championships, and we don't act like that. We leave that to other parts of the country, other countries. I remember years ago when Toronto won, their fans went crazy and started overturning shit and fire and all that kind of crap. They do stupid shit, stuff like that. Out in Seattle, they do stupid shit. In Los Angeles, they do stupid shit. But we don't do that here. So I want to make sure that everybody gets that point out there because, most people don't have the balls anyways in the media here to point fingers like I have and really call out who deserves to be called out and to make sure we send the message that those animals, okay, those criminals, those thugs, those pieces of shit that were committing crimes all over the stadium, none of them are South Florida. That's not South Florida. That's not us. We don't do that. So, I'm sure most of those scumbags that didn't get arrested, they're out like the head of Colombian Football Federation, Ramon Jesurun and Ramon Hamil, his son, both were arrested. I saw the video of them getting out of jail and talking shit about, this and that.
brother, you got no credibility. Just shut the hell up and, go get your court date and get out of here. Your fans act like you. No class whatsoever. So, it is what it is. But, I just want to make sure we stress that that's not South Florida. Okay? That was a bunch of lowlifes, mostly wearing Colombian jerseys. Okay? That were probably out of towners, out of the countryers, by the way. So they came here and acted like the animals that they act like wherever they came from, however they were brought up. Okay? Because, obviously, if they act like this is who they are. You know what I mean? I've never trashed the stadium. I've never trashed the car. I've never done any of that. And I've been there for Canes championships and Heat championships and all that kind of stuff, and the other stuff I've covered as a media member, but none of it I've had to do any of that because in South Florida, we don't do any of that stuff. So I just want to make sure we point that out because that's not who we are. Okay? That's who they are. Okay? That's how they act, right? Because they're lowlifes, right? They're scumbags, and that's how they act. That's all. And that's the stain that you gotta live with. So buddy of mine who's Colombian was like, bro, thank you. It's embarrassing for us, but thank you because it has to be said. Because I hated to see what I saw. And every time I look at it, there's somebody wearing a Colombian jersey. And he was livid, dude. He was livid about it. Plenty of Colombians are pissed about this, by the way. Plenty of them, I'm sure, are super pissed because this was ugly for them, dude. They're at a point now where they don't even give a shit about the game anymore. They're like, wow, bro, you guys made us look like dog shit. They're really pissed. Jamie, yes, I will sign your hat. Yes, I will, my brother. I guarantee you, I won't forget. Like I did with A-Rod, and the poor man had to come to what's called Toyota of Hollywood. By the way, my man does not answer. Alberto Larios. Dude, I got your hat here. I sent you an email. We sent you the hat and we got it back. And, it said return to sender, attempted, not known, unable to forward, and return to sender. So they attempted to send your package. So Alberto Larios, apparently you don't check your email much. So just in case, if you happen to be listening, okay, dude, thank you for supporting the hell out of the platform by buying a hat. But I want to get you the hat. But I need you to answer back because, I checked the address. I got it right and we sent it to you, but we got it, sent back, dog. So, and I'm hoping by the way, I apologize to all of you that have ordered the colored shirts. I think we got everything fixed with the vectors and all the other crap that's gone on. And I think they're printing now. So this week, I think we finally start getting it, and I finally can get the colored shirts out for all of you out there. So thank you. And then if you ordered hats with those colored shirts, like Jamie did, I think Jamie, I looked at your order. You have like a gray shirt, I think it is. So once that gray shirt comes in, then I'll send it. I'll sign the hat, and I'll send it to you all. Okay, so if you want me to sign any of the hats, the white or the black hats, Bitcoin or Big O Show hats, because we have them in 2 styles and 2 colors. We have the Big O Show hat in white and black, and the Bitcoin hat, the Big O Show Bitcoin hat in white and black. So you can order either one, and I'll sign it if you want me to sign it. If you don't want me to sign it, then no problem. If you just want to get the hat, as always. And by the way, our Big O show hats, white or black, in honor of Bill Preston, my best friend and the original producer of the show. That's why BP4E is in the back. So if you buy a Big O show hat and you wonder why there's a BP4E in the back, and then obviously live at 10 a.m. daily on YouTube. So there you go. All right. So everybody's protecting themselves now for these lawsuits. We'll see what happens with that one. Where is Bitcoin at? Where's the Trump pump at right now? We hit 64.8, almost 65. And now it's at 63.5. So if it falls under 63, the Trump pump is over, and then we just wait. It started pumping right after the shooting, unfortunately. Unfortunately for the shooting, but the pumping started after the shooting. The correlation is there, so I got to point out to it, whether you want to credit it or not, but it's kind of been happening. By the way, a couple of things. Metaplanet bought $200 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. Van Eck and Interinvest partnered to launch the first Bitcoin exchange traded notes, an ETN, for French pension plans, allowing regulated Bitcoin investments in retirement savings. This is coming. This is like everybody's going to add it to their 401ks and their pensions and all that stuff, man. And once they start doing that, it's going to go crazy. This is nothing. And then the SEC has given preliminary approval to at least 3 Ethereum ETF issuers to start trading next Tuesday. So expect Ethereum to start shooting up even more. Ethereum's gone up like $500. It was like at 39 something. And right now, Ethereum is at 3,400. Yeah, it was at, 3,068 on July 12th. Okay. And today's July 14th. Let me see. Where were we? We were... 2908 on May 9. Like I told you, $500. Okay. May 9th. You could have gotten it at 2,900, and it's at 3,400 right now. And with the ETF approvals next week, this thing is going to start rocketing big time. So if you're an Ethereum person and you've been hanging in there and waiting, and you got in a little earlier, now you're going to see it pump even more now, Ethereum. So very, very nice. Very, very nice. Now, remember, we have on the Bitcoin side, we have Mt. Gox moving billions of dollars over. Now they're going to spread it out to their customers. Some are going to sell because this Bitcoin has been offline for 10 years now. And in 10 years, a lot of things can happen to people. Some people are going to need the money, so they're going to sell. Some people might be dead. Some people might be really comfortable and they don't need it. And since the bull run is starting, even, like really the explosive part of the bull run is about to take off, they might be smart enough to hold on and say, yeah, I don't need to sell right now. Let me wait for the end of this bull run, and then I'll make even more. I've waited 10 years. What's me waiting another year? They can say stuff like that. So a lot of things could happen because the Mt. Gox people are really hardcore Bitcoiners because they got in a long time ago. The Mt. Gox people, on average, spent $800 to $1,000 per Bitcoin. That's a nice investment 10 years ago, huh? That's a nice-ass investment 10 years ago. Holy shit.
So, it's interesting. Anyway, let's see. Don't forget, smash the hell out of the like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it, smash it. Got 83 watching, 50 right now have smashed it. Steven Gonzalez in the house. Ray Sosa, Miles Deep, One-Eyed Jack. Hopefully we see Bitcoin and Jasmine continue to pump. Yeah, Jasmine's been pumping really, really good, man. You just got to stay strong. A lot of people, they got out or panicked or whatever, or thought it was the top and sold out. Giovanni is in the groove. Cosa Nostra, Joe 305, Mr. Torres, Brooklyn Rob. He says he loaded up on Bitcoin at 54, staying strong and seeing the tremendous opportunity. ETH for the end of the month started loading up now. Yes, sir. Steve Chapman in. Eddie Veto. I heard from the mayor that the Super Bowl, they had 300 police officers, and for Copa America, they had 800. Was that 800 from the beginning? I have no idea. Cava has zero credibility. She's an absolute disaster. Okay? I've never been a fan of Cava. Didn't vote for her or whatever. I'm not, whatever. It is what it is. But we suck at politics. We suck at actually finding good politicians, and good people really don't want to be politicians. So just kind of really that's really the real kicker for everything that goes on, that 98% of the time the worst people are running for office. And that's what we end up voting for, because we have no choice. We have nothing but just terrible selection. It's so minimal. The people are actually good. And then they really don't end up making any impact, because if you don't take any personal interest, you don't climb the ladder. It's terrible, dude. We're so screwed. Stetson O, Gus 1388, Luis Benito, NorCal is fired up and ready to go. Alexis, Ocala Joe, he says he's feeling it, that this week Bitcoin rockets up. Fingered cross. No, we've been waiting, right? We've been on a sideways deal for 3 months now, almost 4 months now. Drago, NorCal has got another one going. Ray Varnicus, Rosendo. Let's see. Rookies report today as we start a new NFL season. Wishing you the strength to overcome obstacles and the resilience to keep going. Keep the faith and stay strong. Thank you, sir. Jay Gelfin reminding everybody to smash it and the like button too. Lenny Pena. Brandon Flood. Ray says, from the commentators, over 17,000 chartered buses full of Argentines and Colombians were at the game. Lots of them weren't from South Florida. Yeah, bro, of course. Of course. The way they acted, that's not the way we act here in South Florida, dude. It's just not the way we do things. We have way more class than most people in this country when it comes for sporting events and sports, celebrations. We have way more class than most everybody in the country. We certainly have more class than most of the people in Central and South America. Okay? That's not even close. I've seen the craziness that goes on there. Okay? So, yeah. It's just different, bro. Just different. I'm sorry, but I can say that about our people here in South Florida. Can't say that about anywhere else in the country, and I can't say that about anywhere else in the world. But I can tell you that the scumbags that you saw on Saturday night, they probably weren't from South Florida. So, Frankie is in the house. Also, the person who brought the dog was a Colombian, not an Argentine. Oh, who gives a shit about that? I don't care. He said, I apologize. Want the details. Yeah, but the dog didn't do any destruction. I was just hoping that the dog is fine. That's it. I'm just, because I'm a dog guy. But I don't care if it's a Colombian or an Argentine. What I care about is the criminals. People sneaking into stadiums by vents and climbing over ticket booths and destroying escalators and sitting in the middle of an aisle, bro. What the fuck do you think this place is, bro? Huh? Do you think this is some fourth world country or some bullshit? Like you're going to be able to sit in the middle of the fucking aisle, bro. Like, get your ass out of here, bro. Pay for a ticket, you piece of shit. Seriously, bro. Animals. Pure animals. That's all we saw. Classless dirtbags. And less than 30 arrests. You had 800 cops? Kava. Your people suck. Holy shit, dude. You needed to arrest all these people, man. You didn't only need to arrest them. You needed to beat the shit out of them on top of arrest them. Okay? Go for it, coppers. Have it out. Seriously, I got no tolerance for any of what happened on Saturday night. None whatsoever. I'm sorry, dude. I am an old man already. I'm approaching 60, and it's really easy to get to 60 years old without doing stupid shit like that. Super easy, man. Super easy. I don't know, man. It's terribly easy to go to 60 without carjacking somebody or armed robbery or murder or rape or embezzlement or, I don't know, dude. It's like super easy for me. I'm nearly 60. It takes no effort whatsoever to never steal a car in my life. Doesn't take any effort for me. So it really doesn't take any effort for me. Oh, let me destroy an escalator. Like, who the fuck thinks about that? You know what I mean? Who thinks about that? Dirtbags. These people didn't even pay for tickets, and they're destroying everything. Think about that. The people that paid for tickets got abused. Some of them didn't even get in. Some of them had to climb a destroyed escalator. Some of them are there with their kids or wives. They've worked all their lives to put themselves in positions to afford these tickets. And here are these scumbags ruining everything, bro. I have no tolerance for this. None whatsoever. Less than 30 arrests. I think the number was 27 or 28. When I heard that, I was like, brother, how could only 27 arrests happen? Everybody that was in that vent was 27. Like everybody in that vent right there, bro. Everybody in that vent in jail right away. Most of those people are gone. They're in planes and they're off and flying. But, that's definitely not us. It's crazy, man. There we go. Anyway. Alex says, we celebrate the right way. Of course, bro. Yeah. Look at the Uruguay game. The Colombians were wiling out this go around. They were also messing around with the Uruguayans. I mean, it was disgusting, dude. It was disgusting behavior. Disgusting behavior.
And, yesterday, it frosted my ass a little bit on the, well, no, then, how many of them from Miami? I'm like, no, no, dude, don't lay this on Miami. We don't do that. We don't act like that. We don't act like animals. We never act like animals. We never have. And I'm old. I've been part of all the celebrations from the 80s. Okay. I mean, I was around when the Dolphins won. I was 7 and 8 years old when the Dolphins won the 2 Super Bowls, but I don't remember any celebrations. I just remember, like, celebrating with my dad, give him 5 and all that kind of stuff. And he bought me a shirt that had a Super Bowl trophy on it and all that kind of stuff. I remember that. That's what I remember as a kid. But once I got older and then the Canes started winning titles, football and baseball, we never had any violence. Heat won titles. We never had any violence. Marlins won 2 titles. We never had any violence. Nothing. We don't destroy the Orange Bowl. We don't destroy the Miami Arena. Nothing, dude. I remember running out of the Miami Arena after we beat the Utah Jazz or the Detroit Pistons in our expansion year. And I remember in one, because, we were expansion teams and they were like really good teams, right? That was the Mark Eaton, Karl Malone, John Stockton teams and all that kind of shit. And I remember running out of that arena with my girlfriend, now my wife, carrying on my shoulders. I was carrying her on my shoulders because we were season ticket holders. We had second level seats in the first 4 years of the Heat in the corner. And so I remember carrying her on my shoulders and running down the stairs, and that's it. That's that. And we get to the Metro Rail and we're all like high-fiving, and that's our celebration. We're not tearing down rails. We're not kicking anything down. We don't do any of that third world thuggery bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we do. And we don't celebrate like the idiots in the Philadelphia when the Eagles win, that they're destroying stuff and all that. We don't do any of that, bro. So you could tell that all those scumbags and all those fucking lowlifes from Saturday, who all deserve to be in jail, they're all now sitting in Colombia and other parts of the world, probably. You know what I'm saying? But that you can tell they have nothing to do with South Florida's characteristics. Okay? Because I've seen it, I've watched it, I've lived it all, I've covered it. We never act like that. And I'm really proud of that for South Florida. Our protesting, we don't act like that on the Cuban side, that is. And definitely on the championship side, we never, ever act like that. All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little Dolphins football with the one and only David Furones on our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All righty. How you doing, my man? You doing good?
I'm doing well, yeah. Enjoying this last week that I have before we really get into it. So finally, it's about time. Actually, today, rookies are reporting. So we don't have media coverage for that. We don't have media access. But then next week when veterans report, we have that, and then the first practice and so on. So maybe we get some social media from the Dolphins sent out on some of these rookies, and we go off of that. But yeah.
When's your first practice? When's the first media session for us? When do we start?
We should get something the report day, next Tuesday, the 23rd, the veteran report day. And then obviously there would be a practice right after that. And then going into that first weekend is the Sunday, the first weekend that there's the one open to fans. So so then they get right into it after that.
I think there's a first couple. I don't know if I'll go to the first day or two because they have put on no pads.
Right. Use that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go the first day or two because they'll have no pads. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Well, I'm gonna miss
see.
it.
I'll see. I'll see. I mean, I just, if there's not going to be any hitting or anything, it's just hard to get a feel for things, bro. It just, man, they just do so much less hitting nowadays than they used to. It's really you used to get a much better feel for teams in training camp in the preseason because they used to hit a lot. When we had two-a-days and in the Jimmy days and the early Wanstead days, it was two-a-days, inside drills. You really got a good feel for a football team if they could run the ball, if they could stop the ball, if they were a good tackling team, all that kind of stuff. Now it's almost like conditioning, and then even the tackling, it doesn't really get sharp till like a month into the season. Actually, it doesn't really get sharp, and so it's because there's less hitting. And it's not their fault. It's just not their fault. It's just you don't have two-a-days anymore. You don't hit a lot anymore. You don't tackle a lot. I mean, Jimmy Johnson would start off the morning with an inside drill. That's how they did their stretching, and they didn't do individuals. No. Inside drill. And then you went off to individuals. That's some shit. That's some That's really how you okay, everyone stretched out. All right, ready to go. Okay, inside drill. Let's go. And then you got the blood going, and then they went into individuals. Yeah. That's how they used to do it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That'll get the blood flowing. To start practice. So, okay, yeah. So that's before my time of covering. So, that's good to hear. And I knew obviously it would be more physical when you go back.
How old are you?
I turned 34 next month.
Oh yeah, it's close. Yeah, you were like in the crib. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, all I know.
Jimmy was 96.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's era, the late 90s, and I was a kid and getting into it and all that, and then once I really started having a lot of consciousness over what was going on,
you were the years by then. Yeah, you were the Wani years by then.
Yeah, Wanstead years for sure. Well, yeah, and also as a kid, I got into baseball and basketball first in like my single digit years, and then as I got older, then football was just easy to pick up because I already knew the other sports. So then
you're 34, you said, right?
Turning 34 next month. Not yet.
Right. Yeah, and this is my 34th year doing this.
Okay. So yeah, we aligned there. Yeah.
91 was my first year in the business.
Okay, well, 90 I was born.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. We're aligned there. So you've been doing it. You can literally say you've been doing it as long as I've been alive.
Yes.
Yeah. And anytime we disagree, then you could just hit me with that and debate over.
No, but it was just, I remember one year we had Jamie Nails.
Oh yeah.
And that was the early Wani years, I want to say.
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
And again, because they were hitting a lot, and the Dolphins weren't ever really a great running team. That was always a stigma with them forever, bro. Marino years, whatever. There were. Jimmy would run the ball, but it wasn't like an effective running game. It was just a serviceable running game. And then every once in a while, you'd get a Lamar and you get a Ricky or whatever. And that's what's happened. That you really haven't had, up until Mike McDaniel, you really haven't had an effective running game that you can count on. All we need now is for Mike to stay with it. But going back to my point, I remember one year, fans would ask me, we're going to run the ball. And sure enough, I'm watching camp, and I'm watching Jamie Nails come out and pull, and because he came from Buffalo, lost a bunch of weight, got in better shape, the best shape he had ever been in, and he was able to move really well. And all of a sudden, I start looking at that line, and I start telling fans, this is the year they got a running game. And sure enough, they ended up having a running game. Why? Because in camp,
I could see them hit every day and inside drill and run and all that. And that's my problem nowadays. It's hard for you and all the other ladies and gentlemen that are in the business to really get a good gauge on a team now in the preseason and in training camp because you really don't see enough anymore. And it's not your fault. It's just look, talk to scouts. Scouts will tell you nowadays in the NFL, it's harder for them to grade offensive linemen because of the way college football is being played. It's such a passing game, you don't really know what a road grader looks like because there are some guys that play their entire careers and they're not really putting their hands on the dirt. They're not really, having to really plow people over and stuff like that because they're playing in zones and they're playing in passing schemes and all that kind of stuff. And you don't get a good feel for a guy if he can really, put his hand in the dirt and put somebody on their ass. You know what I mean? So scouts will tell you, we can figure out pass protectors, but run blockers, it becomes a little harder nowadays because of the way the game is played. And for you, I think it becomes harder to determine what kind of a team you have nowadays because you don't hit enough anymore in training camp in the preseason.
Yeah, and as far as my media time, then that's all I've known is just what we get to see because it's been pretty consistent since I've covered the team full time, and then sometimes I would fill in years prior on some random training camp days. I remember doing that, but it was kind of similar in what you would see. So yeah, it's definitely from a previous era where you really got to see the physicality in training camp, and definitely the first several practices. Then that's sort of that acclimation period. So it's going to look a lot like OTAs and mini camp to start off because the guys got to get back acclimated, like the word says. So, there's a lot of that. And good point you're making on being able to assess linemen because, for a lot of years, there was some disconnect in a lot of the schemes being run in college systems while it was still sort of that pro-style offense. There's a lot fewer teams in college running pro-style offense. And I know that was actually a thing that helped the Miami Hurricanes when they were producing a lot of NFL talent was, they ran the pro-style, so It translated over very easily. Then a lot of other college teams were able to be more effective with the different spread type offenses and all the fast-paced no-huddle attacks that then sort of phased out what the Canes were able to do as well. But then the Canes were also producing less pro talent because then you kind of just had to find the guys who were productive as well in college. And so it created a big circle of all of that. Eventually UM had to catch up with different when they had Rhett Lashley and whatnot as offensive coordinator, and I covered those years. But
now the NFL is adjusting to college when it comes to
then there'll be a lot of years with that. Yeah.
Right, because now they know that what they're getting, and so now they're kind of running, and that's what we do here. That's what the Dolphins have. They kind of have more of a college-like system in a way for their linemen, and so that's why it might be easier to kind of figure out what lineman you need. But if you want to go a little bit more classic, and you want to be the Ravens, and you want to run. Brother, you better make sure you assess the lineman the right way because if he's not a road grader, you're screwed.
Yeah. I feel like that started maybe like a decade ago when you had, and a little bit more than that, when you had Cam Newton come out and Robert Griffin III and then Colin Kaepernick. So you had a lot of guys that were running that read option. So then that's sort of like a college thing that it was away from the pros, away from the pro game, and then sort of it started getting incorporated into it, and more teams started building that into their schemes. Whereas a couple years before that, like Tim Tebow was not thought of as a pro prospect, but the Broncos still took a chance on him first round before moving on quickly once they were able to get Peyton Manning. But then shortly after that, you started just incorporating it into it. Like, okay, what are they running in college? They're very effective at that. Let's try to get that into the NFL game. And now you see it with Lamar Jackson and such.
Yeah. So that's where it becomes a little harder to assess what's going on. All right. And you know what? I get this, by the way, because you told me, like, this is all I know, because since you've been covering, that's the kind of style of practices that there is. I get that in doing this nowadays, and I've been doing it for so damn long. I get it from college basketball fans at times, because I make fun of today's college basketball, because the last 15, 20 years, people that have been watching college basketball, they don't know any better. They don't know what it's like to have Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing and everybody else for 3 to 4 years in college. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of the same thing. It's like, yeah, dude, I don't see the same college basketball that I used to see. You know what I mean? It was a much higher level before. And it's because things are different nowadays. It's just a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? So we look at the contract situation. Does it look like it's going to end up rolling into the beginning of training camp like I thought?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think so. We're a week away, so unless we get some big leap through these negotiations, get through all these hoops, and get it done within this week, then yeah, it's now at this point it is looking like, all right, it'll get to that report day. Maybe it's a headline going into that, and first time we talked to Tua early in training camp. If it's not done then we'll have a similar sort of conversation as to what we had during minicamp, where it was antsy then. I wonder what the feeling will be if training camp starts and the deal still isn't done. So, yeah, with that still up in the air, then it's looking more and more likely like Tua will at least go into his first or his fifth training camp still on that rookie deal without the long-term extension after so many of his other counterparts across the league have gotten their money either last offseason or now a couple this offseason before things get
I want to give Dolphins out there that are a little worried about this a little, I'll give you something bright to look at, a positive on all of this. I've had a wrong read on all of this from the get-go. I thought because they were adding all these players, okay, they got to be close on this, right? Because they got to know their number if they're adding all these players. Then all of a sudden, I think all these other contracts that came in, they probably wanted more money. They're like, no, dude, whatever. So now there's a difference. So now I think it's going to go into the beginning of training camp. So I'm probably going to be wrong about that too now. So I've been wrong about that from the get-go, and I'm going to probably be wrong about this, and they'll probably come to a deal tomorrow or in 3 days from now, and there you go. So, bright side, Dolphins, I haven't had a good feel for this contract situation.
Yeah. So fade Big O at the sports book. Whatever Big O is saying on the Tua contract, just fade him, go the opposite way.
Yeah.
So it's happening tomorrow. Or maybe there's a reverse jinx. Because you said this now you will be right.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, dude, because I've gone from two extremes thinking, okay, this thing has got to be close, right? There's no way you're adding the entire team and you must know something. No, sure enough, something changed. I think that last deal by Trevor Lawrence effed everything up. And they're like, no, we want more money now. And they're like, no, dude. This is why we were building this team around you. That's kind of the sense I get. I almost get that sense that there was kind of a feel for like, hey, guys, here's where we're at. Okay, great. And we're going to build a team around you with that number. And then all of a sudden, the Lawrence deal comes out and boom, you know what I mean? And we still have the Purdy and Jordan Love deals. Which will, cloud the situation even more. That's the thing.
So, yeah, if you're the Dolphins, I think you want to operate with some urgency, too, because then you don't want another quarterback deal to hit you over the head like that because it just keeps going up. Yesterday's price is not today's price when it comes to the quarterback. So the Dolphins are realizing that. And yeah, Tua has every reason to go for more money when he saw that Trevor Lawrence, whom Tua has outplayed thus far in their two NFL careers, got that contract. And it makes sense when the salary cap went up 13.6% from one year to the next. Then, yeah, if Joe Burrow was setting the market at $55 million per year, then Trevor's $55 million per year, albeit not with the same guarantees and whatnot. So it's kind of an inflated number. But yeah, when the salary cap went up 13.6%, yeah, that's kind of what the market is going to be now. And you actually get off with less of a percentage of the salary cap than when the Bengals first agreed with Burrow's deal.
All right, let me tell you what I also this is just a guess, because obviously these contract things and this kind of stuff is guessing stuff that we're doing here. A lot of people are wondering, oh, will he hold out? Will he hold in, or all of that? I'm convinced none of that will go on with Tua. He's under contract. I think Tua will go the other way. I think Tua will shut the media down and say, hey, listen, we're not going to talk about contract till next year, and I'm not going to answer any more questions about the contract. Let's talk football from here on out. Boom. And he then says, oh, all right, you guys don't want to give me the money? Great, no problem. Boom. He goes out, he takes on the season. He goes and has a great year and makes you pay even more. And so I think he's the kind of guy that is going to say, oh, really? Oh, okay. Instead of going the other way and be bitter and all that other stuff, I think he's the guy that says, oh, really? Okay, well, then I'm going to prove you guys wrong too. And now you're going to have to pay me even more when I come back and I put up the numbers. Yeah. So I kind of think that he will take it more as a challenge than anything else. I don't think there's any kind of a holdout, a hold in, or anything like that. I think he takes it on and says, oh, okay. And then same thing as the hip or anything else. I think that's how he's wired.
Yeah, could be. And then if you do get that motivated Tua, then and he is motivated by this scenario, then you end up getting the performance that validates the contract that you seem to have to pay anyway. So yeah, right, it would work out if you have to pay top dollar for Tua, and you want him to prove it for another year. And he did prove a lot already. The last 2 years, took the huge leap in year 3 under Mike McDaniel with Tyreek Hill on the Dolphins. Then year 4 proved that he could stay healthy. That was still the big underlying question mark. And to some extent, yes, he's going to want to create that security for himself because he does have the injury history. It was just 2 seasons ago that he had the multiple concussions. And now he is coming off this 1 year where he did make it through entirely healthy. But how much do you want to continue to bet on yourself so much when one more of those concussions then could put you back into that previous state of how you were perceived as far as what you're valued, what you should be paid. So, yeah, I mean, there's 2 sides to that. If he wants to get some security and lock in the long-term extension now, but especially if that price is so high for what he wants, then if you're the Dolphins, you might want to actually see it again and then say, well, if the price keeps going up, well, then it's only going to go up to what we have to pay anyway because we got to pay top dollar regardless.
Oh, no. And if he takes on the challenge and he meets the challenge and he goes and has a great season and let's say wins a playoff game or 2, oh, dude, the negotiations are going to be really, really ugly in the offseason because you're the Dolphins. You're going to have to capitulate. You're going to have to shut the hell up, and you're going to have to pay him whatever his agent says you're going to pay. And by the way, for the haters who can't wait to hate on whatever deal he gets, oh my God, they're going to freak out because it'll be the kind of deal that maybe only Mahomes is out earning him or something like that, or maybe he's number 1 in the league next year after a great season. So you got to be careful. You know, that's the other thing. If you're the Dolphins, if you believe in him and then he goes out and has that kind of season, you're going to end up having less space in the future than you would have right now. So,
yeah,
you know,
well, and especially if the NFL has another year where the salary cap goes up by double-digit percentage, then right. Yeah, it's only going to get more expensive, and quarterbacks are going to. And sure, you get more in the total salary cap, but then that percentage of what you have to pay your quarterback is only going to skyrocket even more so. So,
yeah. I don't think it'll be a situation of animosity. I just don't think that. I think he'll take it as a challenge, and it'll be fun. I think actually it'll be fun. Either way, dude, I've seen all of these things. They all end up working out. Everybody gets their money and all that bullshit. So I'm not really worried about it because he's a character dude. So I know that these kind of dudes end up, manipulating the situation in a way where it just ends up working out. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's kind of the way these kind of people are.
Yeah, I have a feeling Tua himself doesn't want to play it so hard with the organization. I think he has a lot of appreciation for the organization bringing him in, and then and halfway through the years that he's had so far, bringing in Mike McDaniel, a coach that has worked wonders for him and made it such a better environment that he appreciates so much more than what he had initially under Brian Flores. You can definitely tell that. So and obviously, I think Tua just likes it here. He's done stuff with his foundation in South Florida. So I don't think he really wants to leave and have to start up elsewhere. He doesn't want it to get to that point. He's a very team-oriented guy. So, at the end of the day, I think he has to play a hard line because these are negotiations, and he has to maximize what he can get out of the situation. And he's competitive too. So that competition, it leaks into salary cap. Like Trevor Lawrence got that. No, I got to beat him when it comes to getting Jared Goff money. I got to make sure I beat him when it comes to my contract. So these are competitive guys too. So even if they want to put their organization in the best scenario possible, they also do like to compete in every aspect, even when it comes to the money.
I'm with you there. All right, follow him on Twitter at @DavidFurones_. He'll be back on Thursday afternoon when we are live at Hialeah Park. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up on Thursday, my friend. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it. Welton Realm, folks, we are in the middle of storm season, but it doesn't have to be a hurricane. It could be a thunderstorm. It could be just a regular type of storm that strolls in and has some wind. And, from 40 miles on, starts to cause some kind of roof damage for folks. I'm not saying every roof. Most roofs have no problem, but some could even have problems even at 40. And so sometimes with a lot of rain, if you start noticing those brown spots, call Welton Realm. They'll send over their adjusters. You'll find out that maybe in the last storm or two or the last year, there's been some damage to your roof, and maybe you need a new roof, and let's get that thing fixed. 954-966-4646. You never call the insurance company. You call Welt and Realm first. 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy has become an issue. A lot of people have been going into their credit cards, deep into their credit cards. They've been going into their 401ks, and they've gotten in a little bit of trouble. And it's been going on a lot around the country, folks. If you're facing those bankruptcy and those collectors, please call Welton Realm. They can help you out. 954-966-4646. Personal injury, business owner claims, commercial litigation. They're here for you. Call Jeff Welt and Daniel Realm right now. 954-966-4646. The consultation's completely free. Hour number 2 is next. Manny Navarro joins us with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
This has been another session of the Welton Realm Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Realm, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Realm can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 16 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new 2024 RDX, $419 a month during our 16th anniversary sale.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Realm is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Realm, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. How you doing, bro? You doing good?
Doing good, oh. Just out here playing pickleball in the morning at the yards at Amelia and Hialeah. Indoors. So I got some buddies here with me, but having a good day, man. How are you?
Good, bro. Good. I'm sure you saw Saturday night, and you've been here a long time, and I've either participated or covered Hurricanes, Heat, and Hurricanes baseball and football championships, Marlins championships. We and now the Panthers. We never that had nothing to do with Miami people on Saturday night, bro.
No,
nothing to do with Miami people on Saturday night.
Those were all out of towners that were here to, I guess, enjoy the soccer game, brother, and just a lot of craziness. It was insane.
It's like our South Beach shit that goes on during.
Basically, yeah.
That we have all the out-of-towners come and the police end up arresting, and you find out that 95% of those people are all from out of town, and they came here to raise hell. You know what I'm saying? And hell, these are out-of-countryers probably. Not even out-of-towners. These are out-of-countryers. You know what I'm saying?
Behavior I've never seen before, man. People climbing in air vents to get into the stadium was something I'd never seen before, but hey, it's the new world we live in. What can you say?
Although that meme with Bruce Willis wearing the
that's true. That's true. Yeah, Die Hard.
Bro, that meme was that was classic right there. Come out to South Florida. We'll break into the stadium. We'll steal somebody's seats. We'll destroy the escalator. Yeah. So that I gotta say that meme was actually just spot on right there. And somehow or another, I feel like these vents are going to be secured more than ever nowadays. So
you'd hope so. You'd hope that security's ready for people to sneak in via the vents. That's something that they learned off of this experience.
It worked in the Nakatomi Plaza. It will work here. Let's go. Come on. Oh man, that's some crazy stuff. All right, the recruiting trail. What's the latest with the Canes?
Well, they're waiting on a big one tomorrow. DJ Pickett, the 5-star cornerback, number 2 cornerback in the country, from Zephyr Hills, Florida. His cousin, of course, is already here on the roster at Miami, and it looks like it's going to be a Miami or Oregon decision. It's funny how Mario Cristobal is going up against his former school for recruits, which tells you that Miami's NIL is nice and healthy if they're going against Phil Knight money and Oregon for a player. So we'll find out about DJ Pickett tomorrow, and then there's a couple of other guys Miami's recruited. One of them, Jabari Antoine, I think is going to announce on the 20th. It's another cornerback guy out of Louisiana. Miami's done a pretty good job pulling guys out of Louisiana of late, so former LSU commitment. So those are the 2 big ones here in the next week. But, it's going to run all the way through August, and then you got to actually sign the guys when it comes to December. And to sign the guys, you better have a good season.
Okay. The Pickett kid, what is he, a 5 or 4-star? What's the deal?
5-star out of Zephyr Hills, 6'2", long arms, 195-pound safety type, guy that can certainly play cornerback, NFL body. Again, his cousin is already going to school here. He was part of the last class. His uncle played for Ohio State, was in the NFL, I think, with the Titans for a while. So the Pickett family has some super athletic roots, and father, I think the uncle actually, the father of the cousin who played at Miami. His dad played at Miami back in the 90s. So, just super athletic kid, great cover guy. Reads quarterbacks well, jumps routes. Kind of guy that Miami needs because, quite frankly, cornerback has been a position where they haven't necessarily landed 5-star guys. They've had a lot of them here in South Florida. Patrick Surtain's kid was one of them, right? Went to Alabama, was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, a top 10 pick in the NFL, a Pro Bowler. Couldn't get him to come to Miami because Miami wasn't good. Well, Miami still isn't good, but Mario's working on it, and NIL is working on it, and you hope that between those two things, you can start landing some of these 5-stars.
All right, and the other position that, we were so spoiled that they always had stars at that position, dominant forces at that position. So
yeah.
An Upshaw kid that they recruited, or any of the guys that they recruited at wide receiver, are any of those guys like, hey, this guy is going to be an Andre Johnson type? Have any of their receiver recruits, been talked about like, okay, this is like a number one superstar type guy here for us that we haven't had in a long time?
Well, the highest rated guy that they've brought in, and they just got a receiver commitment this past weekend from a 4-star kid, I think out of Utah. That was a 5'11", 6-foot type guy, not a huge receiver, more of a playmaking type threat. But the best guy that they've gotten is JoJo Trader in terms of highest rated recruit. JoJo Trader was at one point a 5-star kid. If you watch the state championships, the state high school championships this past year when Chaminade played and they had Jeremiah Smith, who was the number 1 5-star guy in the country, ended up going to Ohio State. Well, JoJo Trader was also on that team. They were teammates. And he made this absolutely ridiculous one-handed grab in the back of the end zone. Just pure athleticism. You can look it up on Twitter or on the internet. You can find it. But JoJo is the most decorated guy that they've signed here in a while. I'm trying to think back to other guys that they've had that were top 100 receivers. Nye Carr is another one, a kid they got out of Georgia who used to be committed to the Bulldogs. He was part of this last class. But Trader is definitely the highest rated, and he's a freshman. He's going to be wearing number 0 this fall for the Hurricanes. Right now, I would say he's probably the 5th best receiver that we have and Miami has. But there's a chance by the end of the season he's top 3 because he's just such a freak, a guy that can start on both sides. If he could play, in my opinion, you could put that guy at cornerback and he could be a starting cornerback for you. And that's a position that right now, when you look at Miami, you say, man, there's not enough cornerbacks. He's the kind of guy that I think could play both for Miami and be really, really good.
All right, good stuff. What else are you working on the athletics that folks can check you out?
Yeah, well, listen, the video game, the NCAA video game just came out yesterday. People who paid for early access of it. And I had a column this morning introducing all the video game players. 11 years between the video game releases because of NIL and the Ed O'Bannon case. So it just came out, and college football fans are super excited. I'm sure you've seen it on your timeline, all the videos, people posting videos of the video game. It's back, it's back. So I wrote a column basically saying, hey, if you haven't paid attention to college football since the last video game, these are all the things that have happened. And it's crazy. You go back and you look at just what's transpired here in the last 11 years, because that game came out in 2013, July 2013. NIL, 12-team playoff, transfer portal, all the conference realignment. Go back to 2013 when Jameis Winston led FSU to the national title, and look at the win-loss records for teams. Nebraska. Remember how great Nebraska was? 8 straight losing seasons for the Cornhuskers. Miami obviously has fallen off. The Gators actually have a worse record than Miami over the last 11 years, and Miami's been very mid. So just look at all the teams that used to be champions, and now they're just kind of average. So if you want to check that column out, that's at The Athletic. And I'll have another one here on Miami talking about what's happened this offseason since the end of the spring game, because everybody's like, hey, man, I really haven't been paying attention. What's going on? Who did they add in the transfer portal? So if you want to find out and you want to recap, that'll be coming out this week as well.
Yeah, that's why I asked about the receivers, because, man, we need a star, bro. It would be fun to see a star again at that position, a dominant player at that position. It just hasn't happened.
I think JoJo's an NFL receiver. I think he'll be drafted. I think he's too good of a talent to not make it to the NFL. He's about 6 foot, 6'1", not Andre Johnson, 6'4", or anything like that, but a guy that has incredible range with his arms and ability to just snatch the ball out of the air, and game breaker. He'll catch the ball in space and he'll take off and beat 2 or 3 guys down the field. So a special talent and a guy that I think Miami fans will be really excited to watch here in the years to come.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, and subscribe to The Athletic so you can get all the insight. He'll be back on Friday with our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. Enjoy your pickleball, my brother. We'll catch up later on in the week.
All right, brother. Take care. See ya.
You got it. Hey, Canes Wear's got Miami fan wear's got everything. Inter Miami's season is heating up. And if you want to get your Messi jersey, Messi shirt, I know we're going to be missing Messi for a couple of weeks. I know Michelle Kaufman reported that he's out for the next couple of games, and that the coach said he doesn't think it's serious. Although, man, that thing looked mangled. But they've got all kinds of Inter Miami gear, flags, stickers, and wristbands and bracelets and all kinds of stuff. And anything and everything with the Hurricanes logo on it. They got Dolphin stuff. They got Miami Heat stuff. They've even got Marlins stuff. Come on. World champion Florida Panthers gear. You want to get your World Championship hat or shirt? You can get it at Caneswear. And use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. BIG010. Get 10% off. And if you don't live in town, you can go online to caneswear.com, order anything and everything over $99, and you will get free shipping. Plus, use our code BIG010, and you will get 10% off at caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Sneak Attack says, being Colombian, I'm ashamed of how the fans acted. What a disgrace. But also being a Dolphins fan, it really pisses me off that they destroyed our Finns home. I apologize to all of you. Sneak Attack, you don't have to apologize. Frankie, you don't have to apologize. You guys are South Floridians. You act like the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? These animals weren't from here. It's my point. Nobody acts like us pretty much around the country. There's lawlessness in most of their sports championships. Most, not all. But it happens all the time. They act like idiots. It's not just these idiot Colombians that were here in town destroying our stadium. This happens all over the world, and this happens all over our country. It's just we're not used to it because that's not how we roll here. It's not what we do. Hasn't been our MO. So, and we understand that. Because like I just said that earlier. Doesn't matter if you're Jamaican. Doesn't matter if you're Haitian. Doesn't matter if you're Argentine or Colombian. Doesn't matter if you're Cuban. Doesn't matter if you're Puerto Rican. They may act differently in your country, but once you come to South Florida, you act like the rest of us. We don't roll like that. We don't do that kind of shit. We don't go destroying our town because we won a championship. Hell, we don't even do that in protesting. You know? Because Cubans are really, is that the only protesting that goes on? What other group has been protesting? Maybe, I don't know. Protesting. I don't know. I don't even know if there's another group that's been protesting lately, but we don't do that shit. We just, normally we just don't do that. It's not our MO. So we understand it. It's not a Colombian thing. It just happens to be Colombians that were acting like a bunch of idiots. You know what I mean? But it happens all over the world, and we understand. Sneak attack, you have no Colombian. Could you be embarrassed for your people? Yeah, okay. You can, of course. I would be embarrassed if it was a bunch of Cubans doing it. I would be very embarrassed. I'd be ripping them, and I'd be embarrassed. Very embarrassed. Thoroughly embarrassed. But, what are you going to do? It's we South Floridians, we're just a different breed. Troy Ortiz, is Ross having second thoughts about hosting international? No, dude. No, not at all. Not at all. That's drama for nothing. That'll be lawsuits. They'll go after CONMEBOL. To me, CONMEBOL went cheap probably, and they did their own shit, I would imagine, but we'll see. We'll see. My Furones. Nyborg says, question is, does Ross's $1,000 minute lawyer sue Colombia? Why would you sue Colombia? You mean the national team? No, you can't sue the national team. The national team wasn't doing the destruction. It was the fans. No, you sue CONMEBOL is what you do. That's who you go after. Let's see, what else do we have here? The Wanna Years was a great TV show. Oh, it was frustrating. Dan says also not practicing in full pads enough. My opinion, this is why so many injuries. Yes, I agree. I think if you practice more, you'd have less injuries. If you'd hit more, you'd have less injuries. Welton Rayom should be getting contacted by a lot of Colombian fans. No, they should be contacted by the ticket holders that didn't get in. Those are the people. I don't want Welton Rayom to defend those criminals. Tua will ball out this year. He's got the mindset that with $99 million payment, thank you, Ross. You won't be disappointed. Yours truly. Let Tua God? I don't know. Manny, are you buying the new college football game for PS5? Something tells me Manny is not a video game guy, but I'll ask him next time. I remember some Jet fans about 17 years ago, mom, dad, kid, got mad that we were beating them. Guess what? They attacked some Dolphin fans, biting and all. I mean, fights happen in every game. That's different. You know what I'm saying? That's not what this is. This is not. Fights happen in every football game in the NFL and everywhere in the world. A fight here or there. You always have two drunken idiots somewhere. But this is not, this kind of rioting kind of stuff. It's not who we are, man. Just not who we are. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. We love Alan Blanco and the great people at 3A Graphics. Custom printing and embroidery. If you're looking for it, check out our shirts and hats at our merchandise page. All done by 3A Graphics. If your business needs custom printing and embroidery, call Alan Blanco. I promise you, they'll do great work. 786-618-1443. Anywhere in South Florida, contact Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Wednesday night, Chase Stadium, 7:30. Inter Miami taking on Toronto. Money line, Inter Miami -140. Toronto +310. It's +295 for a draw. Heat last night in Summer League action beat the Thunder 102-73. Jaime Jaquez abused summer league talent, 23 points. Ware had 11 points, 12 rebounds, and a block, but inefficient, 5 of 12. The kid Christopher, 25 points, 25 minutes, 23 points on 8-11 of shooting, 6 of 8 from three-point range. It's a nice job by the kid. There you go. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Right. All right. By the way, Sean, did you see the great Bronny James yesterday? Tell you, Sean, you missed it, bro. What's wrong with you? Yesterday, Boston beat the Lakers 88-74.
Actually, I heard that he missed it as well.
In 25 minutes, my man had 2 points, 1 of 5 shooting, 0 of 3 from three-point range, 3 rebounds, and 2 turnovers. Yeah, LeBron James has done a disservice to that young man. He put him in a position that he didn't earn. Everybody knows it. Now he's going to expose himself. He's going to embarrass himself. And so your father did a power move to embarrass you in front of the world when you could be playing behind the scenes. And if you're not good enough, you're not good enough, bro. And you go play in a smaller college or whatever, and that's it. Why all this shit? You're not an NBA player. You weren't even considered the best player on your own high school team. Some people say you weren't even in the top 5 in that entire league. It's an absolute disservice to the kid. Listen, I don't care what parent it is. You've got to allow your child to grow on their own. You've got to allow them to fail and succeed on their own. You cannot coddle your child their entire lives. Because life, as you all know, your adults, will kick you in the ass over and over and over and over again. That's all life does to me, is kick me in the ass. So please, you cannot, you're not going to be around forever. And then when you're not around, what's going to happen? I know the kid will be rich forever as it is. So he's never going to have to work a day in his life. I get all of that. But man, nobody enjoys being around these rich kids that have never earned a goddamn thing in their lives. Never worked or anything like that. Those are some of the most annoying people to be around. The people that have money and didn't do a damn thing to earn it. And sometimes they act like they earned something. You know what I mean? You kind of want them to earn their way one way or another. I almost feel like what he as a father, he failed his child. I really do. Anyway, Big O, do you see the new Inter Miami uniforms I sent you on IG? Let me see. On IG, what you got? Oh, that's the Dolphins ones. Yes. I'm going to buy it. Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm only going to buy it because it's Dolphins, but in theory, I'm not a fan of that, Frankie. Because I'd rather you be in your natural colors, which that isn't your natural colors. But because I'm such a, Dolphins fanatic, and a local sports fanatic, obviously, I'm gonna definitely buy it. I saw it. They look good. They look nice, but it's not It's like what you remember your Colombian team was in that black and orange. I didn't like that shit. That's not Colombia. I need you. I need your yellow, bro. I need your natural yellow that we're used to seeing, and it comes natural. It's just one of those things that's where you belong. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the same thing here. I'm not a fan of it in the sense of the team wearing it, but selfishly for me, being a Dolphins fan, in that silliness, I'm going to play the game. That's about it. Only because I'm a Dolphins fan. By the way, statement from Hard Rock Stadium. Hard Rock has safely hosted hundreds of world-class events in its 37-year history, including Super Bowls, major international soccer matches, Formula One, NFL, and college football, headline concert tours, and global events. In each of those, security was a joint effort amongst the organizer, law enforcement agencies, and the venue. As we previously said, Hard Rock Stadium worked collaboratively with CONMEBOL and CONCACAF and local law enforcement agencies on security both leading up and during the Copa tournament. The agencies met regularly, including daily security briefings throughout the month-long tournament. Hard Rock Stadium implemented and in many cases exceeded CONMEBOL security recommendations throughout the tournament and the final. As we do following all major events, we will evaluate protocols and processes in place across all aspects of the stadium operation. We remain grateful for the law enforcement and officers and stadium staff who worked to prioritize the safety of the attendees despite the unprecedented scale of aggressive and unlawful behavior on display from a subset of unruly fans. We will have no further comment at this time. So, this is very vague, because as we previously said, Hard Rock worked collaboratively with CONMEBOL and CONCACAF and local law enforcement agencies on security, both leading up to and during the Copa tournament. So then what happened? Why weren't there deeper perimeters, farther perimeters set? I don't understand. You guys said you met. Everybody's to blame here, dude. CONMEBOL is to blame. The county's to blame. The authorities are to blame. Everybody has to take blame here. The only people I do not blame is stadium security. But police officers, first and foremost, the county, first and foremost, Cava and company, and the sheriff, that clown that is running for sheriff, and then CONMEBOL. We got to blame them all. Everybody's got to take a slice of blame here. That's it. And then, of course, the animals. But now you know that when you are having these kind of games, you must be prepared for animals. And by the way, as a guy that follows sports heavily all his life, and I warned you guys a week ago, I told you the dumbest sports fans, the one that produces the most Neanderthals, is soccer. You know what I'm saying? There are just things you can't avoid. Soccer has the worst fans. And behavior-wise, then it's the NFL. It's kind of like in music. You know what I'm saying? Like in rap music, what goes on in rap music doesn't go on in R&B or country or metal or classical or bluegrass, right? Soul, religion, new wave. I don't know what EDM, what is it? What's the EDM? Now, is that what it's called? That kind of electronic music? Only rap, right? Only in rap, they're constantly gun violence, shooting each other, whatever. Only one. They're the DEFCON 1 of music. Only one. Same thing. Soccer, it stands alone in producing the amount of morons that no one else produces. Just look around the world and you'll see it. Just like in music, just look around. Only in rap. Can't do anything about it. The magnet's the magnet. So it's crazy. How about this one? I don't care. Again, I always say this because, one side or the other gets pissed off, but I don't care. I don't care red or blue. I don't care about Democrats. I don't care about Republicans. I'm not a fan of Biden. I'm not a fan of Trump, right? But I'm certainly not a fan of violence. And now Tenacious D had to cancel their entire tour. During a stop in Sydney, Australia, the guitarist and vocalist Kyle Gaspard, part of the two-man comedy rock band Tenacious D with, Jack Black, they were presented a cake on stage for his birthday, and he was asked to make a wish. And he appeared to reply, "Don't miss Trump next time," a reference for the assassination. Gas has since called the comment inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. And so it's like common sense, bro. And it's what I said yesterday. We battle in the polls. Okay? If you're a Democrat and you're pissed off that Trump got a pump from the debate and then got a pump now from this thing, don't blame him. Don't blame his followers. Blame yourself. Blame your party. Blame the candidate that you stick by. If you're pissed off that Trump does something wrong, criminal or whatever, and you're pissed off for your party and you're wondering, because there's been those moments, well, then you look at your party. And if you're not happy with either candidate, then you go to the polls to solve it. Violence ain't going to solve shit. It just gets you in jail. It's not going to help your point. It's like you watch these Palestinians protest. I don't have 1 ounce of sympathy for any of those assholes that are out there violently trying to protest, blocking bridges and all that. No, screw you, dude. Black Lives Matter. Same thing. Doesn't matter to me what you're protesting. The second you start going violent and you start destroying businesses and assaulting people and blocking streets and making things hard for people that have nothing to do with it, like you saw those idiot Palestinians go into a LGBTQ parade. Like, where did they bother you, bro? Like, I have no sympathy for you. So, when you do shit like this, Tenacious D, I have no sympathy for you. I'm not a Trump guy and I'm not a Biden guy, but I'm not going to laugh or support that you're trying to instigate or you want violence one way or the other. That doesn't make any sense to me. So now you had to cancel your entire tour. Goody for your ass. I mean, let's go, man. You don't like your candidates? Do something about it in the ballot box. How about following what goes on so you know what goes on? I had a dem yesterday or the day before, challenge me something about crypto and, isn't it bipartisan? I'm sorry. And I showed him the vote and I go, bro, there's no bipartisan here. They're completely against crypto. It's just like, if you're just a fan and that's all you are, you're a fanboy of Trump and you don't want to face the truth about certain things he does, or you're a fanboy of Biden and you don't want to face the certain things that he or the party does, I can't help you, dude. I can't help you, but violence, not the way. Not the way you protest, not the way you go after your candidates, none of that shit. So look at Tenacious D now. Goody for your ass that you had to cancel it. And now you're going to have to deal with a bunch of assholes for a long time now. Because you were an asshole. It's not the way it's not the way it's solved, man. It's just not the way it's solved. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the program by Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. We get 100% of the donation there. You can do the super chat, but we only get 70% there. YouTube gets 30%. On Cash App or Venmo, we get 100%. And you can make a Bitcoin donation, which we love that too. Let's see. What else do we have? Trina got canceled for calling people animals. Oh, who's Trina? And who did she call animals? So I don't know. I don't know what it is. So and what you're worried about me calling the Colombian fans animals, criminals, scumbags, delinquents, dirtbags, scum. What more you want me? What other adjective you want me to use? Anything else, dude? I'm not worried about it, man. I'm not worried about it. My Colombian friends agree that their fellow Colombians acted like scumbags, like animals, like dirtbags, like criminals. When you tear down an escalator, when you're breaking through a vent, my brother, you're an animal. You're a piece of shit. Is that clear enough for you, my brother? I'm not exactly sure. Are we understanding each other here? I'm not sure. I don't know. Am I being clear here, Sean? Okay. I got a thumbs up. Not exactly sure. Tack Love. Not exactly sure. But, you know. But I saw scumbags. I saw a bunch of pieces of shit. That's what I saw on Saturday night. I saw stuff that, and you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. I gotta stop with the animals. Scumbags, criminals, pieces of shit. I have 4 beautiful animals in my house. And they're way better than those people that were wearing Colombian jerseys. Way better. The stuff that I pick up under my shoe is more valuable than the people that were sneaking into vents. Are we clear on that now? There is sewage in Miami that's more valuable than the people skipping over the ticket box and bum rushing the gates and, pummeling kids and old people. Are we clear on that? Okay? That's the lowest form of life. So animals is actually too kind of a word for those people. I hope we're clear on that. I hope you understand how disgusted I am with all those people. They don't belong in our town. Chris Duquette goes, Big O Show, who's Trina? Come on, man. Sometimes, Chris, I just don't give a shit about things. And so, I don't really care. I understand Like, I know who Trina is, but like, I don't really give a shit. It's not really part of my point. So I run right over it, but you kind of missed that. Big O, in my group chat, one of my buddies put, wow, Tyreek Hill going to have a hell of a track team in 16 years. Yeah, I know, but he won't have any money either. He's going to be so broke. It's not even funny how broke he's going to be. Calling those Colombian fans criminal and animals is nice. No. You know what? Criminals, yes. They don't deserve animals. Animals is too good. I've been around animals all my life. Animals are way better than anything I saw on Saturday. You're way better, dude. I had a raccoon that was better than any of those people on Saturday night. I've had, since I was a child, let's see, rabbits, ducks, raccoon, tons of dogs, cat. I only had one cat in my life. What else? What else have we had in the family in my 57 years of existence? Fish, not really animals, but still better than every one of those scumbags on Saturday night. Yeah, everything that's ever crossed my path since I was a child is better than anything that wore a Colombian jersey breaking laws on Saturday night. Or a couple of the Argentine ones. There were a couple. We have to blame a couple of the, small 2-3%, 2, 3, 4, 5% of Argentine idiots that were there. But mostly it was Colombians. So yeah. Animals, it's good. Tack Love, you bring up a good point now. Now you reminded me I shouldn't call them animals. Pieces of shit is more like it, not worthy of being anywhere here in South Florida. Sewage monsters, scum, criminals. Yeah. Those are the better adjectives. Animal is too good for them. You're right. Frankie says, yeah, those Colombian people sneaking to the stadium were some tremendo hijo, you know the rest. And he's Colombian. I'm telling you, Colombians are pissed at those Colombians. Oh, by the way, just to kind of, let's bring it full circle. Cubans, let me let you in on a little secret for us. Cubans, during the Mariel, okay, you know how in the Scarface line that the cop says Castro is shitting all over us because he emptied out the prisons. Brother, let me tell you something. Cubans back in the day were embarrassed with some of the shit that came out of Cuba. Same thing. Colombians feel the same way, like Frankie. Same effing way, like Sneak Attack. Same effing way. Exactly to the T. Ask Cubans that have been around for a while, because we got some good ones that came over on the boats, but we got a lot. Oh my God, we got a bunch of garbage that came from that island. Pure criminals, pure scumbags, crap that you would never, ever even want to allow in. Again, animal is too kind for those Cubans, some of those Cubans that came in Mariel. So it's a true story, that part in Scarface, that when he's interviewing Al Pacino and he's kind of pissed off that Al Pacino's being vague about everything and all that kind of stuff. And this is just Castro shitting all over us again. It actually is true. My dad went to Mariel 5 times to go get his mom and dad, my grandparents. He got them on the 5th trip. 4 times before that, he brought back pure prisoners. He told me every time. He goes, I'm just bringing back prisoners. I could tell they all are fresh out of jail. The tattoos, the condition they're in, all that, everything. And the look, he knew right away that they were, hardened. So my dad and his brother, what they would do is they would stash a rifle and a handgun in the boat. They had a stash that nobody could find. So if the Coast Guards would pull them over, or when they get to Cuba, they would search your boat to make sure you didn't have anything illegal. So they had a compartment where they could hide the guns. This is true story, by the way. Absolutely true story. So once they would load up the Cubans / prisoners onto their boat, now you got to, sail 90 miles, and you're there with a bunch of criminals. So the second that they would be a couple miles out, my uncle would go to the stash and he'd pull out the guns. And for the next 90 miles, he'd hold the gun right at the guys. Said, hey, guys, don't move. Any of you move, I'm shooting you. We're not going to take any chances with any of you guys. So he held them at gunpoint all 4 times, all the way back to South Florida, to make sure that when they got there and they got to the authorities, they'd put away the guns, and then the authorities could take over. That's real life, ladies and gentlemen. Those are Cubans holding guns on bad Cubans. And just ask an older Cuban that's been around. We used to walk around like this. Oh, shit. Because the Mario Cubans were making terrible headlines all throughout South Florida for many years. And you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, he came on the Mario boat lift. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Because the first set of Cubans that came in the 50s and the 60s, they helped build South Florida. They are like hardworking, all that. Like, they didn't want the shit that came over that gave them a bad name. Colombians right now, they feel the same way, dude. They're not, the Colombians are here in town, aren't destroying shit. They're not doing all that kind of stuff. That's not how they go. Plenty of Colombians. Frankie Fresco goes to all kinds of sporting events. He's not tearing shit up all over the place. Sneak Attack 305 does the same shit. He's not doing it. It's the same exact thing. Same thing. And I'm sure, let me see. Sure somebody that's Cuban probably are reminded of him. Let me see. Nobody? I thought somebody would say, yeah, Big O, I'm Cuban, and I remember those days, and I would be embarrassed. Oh, man. What else do we have? I think it was an informally organizational movement to blitz the stadium. There were Colombian fans who said on TV, yeah, you saw that interview. I saw that. I saw the guy say, I don't have a ticket, but I'm getting in there. I promise you I'm getting in there. So, like, I don't have a ticket, so I'm going to be a criminal. I promise you, I'm going to be a criminal. Interpretation. Changing the tune, applause for that young lady for her interpretation of the national anthem. Oh, you know what? I didn't watch the home run derby, but Ingress Andress, who, by the way, has 4 Grammy nominations, has opened up for Keith Urban and Stevie Nicks. I haven't watched the home run derby in years, bro. I just don't, baseball is just such a turnoff already at this point. But Sean, you have the national anthem. Let's play. And so you guys can hear the great.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
He wasn't locked and loaded. He wasn't locked and loaded. So Ingress Andress, I don't know how this ever happens. Look, when it happens with Roseanne Barr, you know she can't sing. So you know it was going to be a joke anyways. But when you're doing something serious, you have a pregame test and everything before. It's not pregame, whatever it is, a rehearsal. Come on. Didn't you hear it in rehearsal? Just play a record or something. Play a CD. If you can't find something locally, quickly, she can't sing it, dude. Didn't you hear it in rehearsal? Go ahead, play it.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still
That was horrific. Yes. Like, really? Seriously? Did you not? Like, how does that happen? How is that even allowed to happen? Seriously, like, where does this make any sense? I saw this morning when I was preparing for the show because I see the headlines and all. I didn't even follow it last night. I had no idea that it was going on last night. I was kind of off a little bit. I guess I wasn't searching that kind of stuff on social media. I wasn't looking at the trending stuff, but and I wasn't really. I don't care about any of these silly things with baseball. I just don't pay attention to it. I don't mind the All-Star game. But this home run derby stuff, and I don't care about that stuff. That to me does nothing whatsoever. It's a waste of time. Rather watch a movie, which is what I did with the wife yesterday. Watch the movie, and I saw that this morning, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe how was this not stopped in rehearsals? Like you can't sing." And there was like a part of me, like she was singing so slow and low that it was like she was trying to be a poor woman's Billie Eilish or something, there's like some level of, let me see if I can like sing and whisper like Billie Eilish does, but no, you can't actually. No, there's no comparison there with Billie Eilish and you, sweetheart. Sorry. And yet somehow or another, she's been nominated for a Grammy 4 times. Really? Like, so is she like a pure creation of a studio? Is that how her voice sounds, or is it all studio? I don't get this. That was bad. Ingress Andress. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on. Didn't they start going to recorded like national anthem for this reason?
I you know what? I don't know about that. For
like the big events. I know like your normal day-to-day games, they always send out whoever. But I thought for the bigger events they had like
No,
a
they
sound.
stopped. No, they
Because
stopped singing.
if you watch the video, she tries to like adjust her ear like she can't hear something, and then it just goes. I don't know, man. It's just odd. Like, why would you pick that?
Bad. You get it when you know the person can't sing. So, okay, Roseanne Barr can't sing. Carl Lewis definitely couldn't sing. Fergie has a voice, but not for the national anthem. Like Fergie can sing, but not national. It's like just because you can sing doesn't mean you can do Whitney Houston. You get what I'm saying? You might be able to sing The Power of Love from Huey Lewis, but not Whitney Houston. Different ball game. Different level, different register. Just a little bit of a difference between you singing Joan Jett and Huey Lewis, and then you've got to go sing Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? You got to have balls. Like, yeah, I'm going to do Queen. Whoa. Slow down. That's the kind of shit. When you do the Star Spangled Banner, when you're doing the national anthem, yeah, no, you got to be careful here. You're stepping into some territory that you need a voice, and I'm talking about like a voice, like a real voice. Some people have a sound, some people have a decent voice, but then there's that next level. And that's what you need for the national anthem. You need the next level. You need somebody that can really belt it. And that's not her. Wow, that was bad. That was really, really bad. Let's see. Ocala Joe says, you are calling it like most of us feel, Big O, douchebags. Yeah, man. Those people were scumbags on Saturday night. Big O, I went with my father. He's 72, and my dad was saying this is terrible. We both agree we will never go to a final game. We'd rather see it from home or a restaurant. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you after those kind of experiences. Yeah. I had to protect my dad from pushing people out of the way because they were trying to crush us at the gate, in and out of our seats. I was yelling at my own people. I was telling them this is not Colombia. I know it's crazy, dude. It's just sad. The Big O Show is loud and clear in Greece. Yeah. What is it? Is it Kalimos, Greece? I don't know how it's pronounced. Sad, but there was a time that the island was known as the Pearl of the Antilles. You're a Marielito, worst thing someone could call you. Yeah, Marielito. Or what's the other one? What's the other one besides Marielito that is actually really a disparaging word? Escoria. Escoria is the real disparaging word. It was bad, like, oh, eres un Marielito. Pero when they call you Escoria, that's from my understanding, that's basically like saying you're shit. So Escoria was the one that really took it to the next level. Oh, I heard a Mario story that my next neighbor told me in order to go into a boat that she had to pass as a lesbian. I am not surprised because they probably want your ass out of there. Yeah. Latins are very anti-gay. Yeah, they're not very. Cubans aren't very accepting of gay people, especially in those days. So yes, I could see that. Yes. Yeah, the Cuban culture is not very accepting of homosexuality. So that would make sense. Ocala Joe says, you are right on. Even to this day, when someone tells me they came in Mariel boat lift, I cringe a little. Exactly. Yeah. And Cubans were very embarrassed with a lot of the Cubans that came over because they did not actually meet the standard of the Cubans that were here, that were hardworking and, do good things. The Cubans that came over, a bunch of them, man, did a lot of bad things and put a black eye on the Cuban population here in those days. So I'm feeling for my Colombian community locally that those pieces of shit on Saturday night, those people have nothing to do with our Colombians here locally. And they feel the same way Cubans did in the early 80s. Same way. So I feel y'all. I feel y'all. But we got to call that out. We got to call it out. We can't accept it. We can't protect it. We can't coddle it just because it's our own. No, 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 no. Cannot do that. Even Francis Scott Key is flipping in his grave. Marvin Gaye was, that's Marvin Gaye, bro. Again, elite. That's a super voice. I generally thought that some girl whose rich parents paid tons of money for her to sing the anthem, the fact that it was a Grammy-nominated singer is astounding. Yeah, in fact, whoever nominated her for a Grammy, those people need to be stripped of any power whatsoever because that makes no sense. My dad came in the boat lift with his father and mother. His father was released from jail. There you go. We're divided as a country, but as Americans, we can come together and say that the anthem was an insult to everybody and everything. Yeah, I would agree with that one. I would definitely agree with that one. Let's get to some birthdays. Why don't we, huh? Let's start off with birthdays. Musicians celebrating birthdays today. Get some water in the system. All right, here we go. We start with Stuart Copeland was born on this date in 1952, multi-instrumentalist, and of course, drummer for the Police. Born on this date in 1952. Mark McEntee, Australian musician, guitarist for the rock band The Divinyls. I Touch Myself. In 1952, on this date, that man was born. Thomas Boggs, drummer for the rock band The Box Tops. The Letta. He passed away in 2008. Thomas was born on this date in 1947. Let's see who else. That's it. That's it for musicians of note. Let's go with birthdays. Will Ferrell celebrating a birthday today. He is 57 years old. Gareth Bale, soccer player, 35 years old. Who else? WizKid, world music singer, is 34 years old today. Actor Corey Feldman is 53. Little Corey Feldman is 53 years old. Ooh, I see a wrestler that I even know, but of course, I'm sure Sean will mention it in a minute. Barry Sanders is 56 years old. Carrie Lloyd, soccer player, is 42 years old. Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates is 61 years old today. Is she still moving in stereo is the question. Got to be good to catch that one. All right, Sean. Give me wrestlers born on this date, sir.
All right. Original ECW member and cousin of Taz, Chris Chetty, turns 50. AEW announcer Excalibur turns 44. And we celebrate the almighty Bobby Lashley. He turns 48 today.
That's the one I saw. That's the one that was there. Lashley was there.
Yeah, I was looking at my list going, the only one it could be would probably be Lashley, unless you watched an AEW Dynamite, because Excalibur is the voice of AEW Dynamite.
No, but from what I understand, Lashley was a wrestler and an MMA fighter, right?
He did a few matches when it was, I believe, Strike Force, and then it became Bellator around that time frame, and then he went back into, when he was with TNA, he did some MMA, and then he went back to WWE, and then you can't.
Right. So he kind of built his name up a little bit and got around a little bit. So that's probably why he made that list there. So those are the birthdays today. Hey, let's go through a little music history. On July 16th, in 1966, Eric Clapton formed Cream with bassist Jack Bruce and amazing drummer Ginger Baker. In 76, on this date, the Allman Brothers split up due to creative differences between Greg Allman and other members. They would go on to reunite 2 years later. In 2002, Buckcherry singer Josh Todd abruptly quit the band while they reformed in 2005. During the interim time, the group was brought to an end since they didn't want to continue without him. And you really can't. In 2012, if you've ever seen Buckcherry live without that singer, Buckcherry's not Buckcherry. In 2012, former Deep Purple keyboardist John Lord passed away at the age of 71 of cancer. And then they put him into the Hall of Fame after. It's like, it didn't make any sense. In 2014, guitarist Johnny Winter passed away at the age of 70. In 62, on this date, the Beach Boys were signed to Capitol Records. And in 2007, on this date, the White Stripes played their shortest live show ever. It took place in Newfoundland, Canada, where Jack White played a single C-sharp note accompanied by a bass drum and a crash cymbal hit from Meg White. And that is what happened today in Musica history. How about that? There you go. There you go. There you go. What else do we have going on? By the way, I have not pulled up the chat board on Instagram today. Forgot to do that today. So apologies to all of you there on the chat board.
Captain Saki said hello.
Oh, he's in Greece. Yes. I'm trying to pull it up. And
then there was one question that just said, Andy ACR said the city was not prepared, though, and that is upsetting. And everybody else has been there.
And Andy's right. And Andy's right, by the way. They all deserve a lot of heat because everybody wasn't prepared for this. From CONMEBOL to the police to the county. Now, this is the typical shit that goes on, that all they want to do is now pass the buck and blame somebody else and not take responsibility for your actions. So Andy is 1,000% right, because you see it going on. Do something about it, bro. You know, come on, man, do something about it. Come on, you just can't. You can't allow thousands to pile up at the gates. You've got to anticipate that, and you got to get cops out there to start separating it and push people back and start way before you even come close to opening the gates, and start getting people out of there. If anything, it was a bad job, bad leadership overall, and they've got to take it. It can't look. Obviously, the people that didn't behave, they ultimately have to be held accountable. And I totally understand that. But I'm not going to allow the people that had an opportunity to do something about it and prevent it, and they did nothing about it. And that part I can't accept. It's like I forgot how to pull up the live chat here on Instagram. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I think I got it. No? No, I didn't. I thought I had it. Oh, well.
Maximum Cojones just farted, so I think you know who that is.
Oh, of course. Of course, the true Finn fan. He's always farting. Phoebe Cates, Fast Times Richmond High, moving in stereo. There you go. That's right, Oscar. Marlins copying a AAA team's uniform, EP Chihuahuas. What? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Whatever the Marlins are doing, I don't really care, dude. As I said a couple weeks ago, F the Marlins. Really. Just F the Marlins. There's nothing to worry about the Marlins. I don't do their commercials. I don't need to kiss their ass for anything. They bring nothing to the table. So, George Albany says, Big O, total scum. If the law really wanted to find them, they could have. We have the facial recognition technology. Yeah, but the problem is if they're not U.S. citizens, you may not have the recognition crap to be able to do it. So that's the thing. My Colombian uncle went to the game, yes, with a ticket, LOL, but had to help a kid and give him water as he was passing out from dehydration as they were waiting to come through the gates. Yeah, it was terrible, dude. I know that Big O doesn't like talking about the Marlins, but the first year the team is better than this one. They gave the fans something to look forward to. There's nothing to look forward to anymore. They don't keep any players. They don't do anything at Ibeto, so there's nothing to talk about at all. Nothing. So if they ever make a commitment to actually spending money, then maybe we can talk, and maybe I can actually, become a Marlins fan again and start watching baseball. But for now, there's no reason to watch baseball. By the way, Bitcoin is shooting up right now at 64,721. It got to 64,800 and something, almost 900 yesterday. It didn't get to 65. So it looks like now it is trying to make its move to 65 and beyond. I'm loving it. Let's go. Shoot it up. What else is going on in the market? Let me see. Jasmine coin up 6%, over 3 cents, which we love that. What else? XRP is up nearly 10% for you XRP folks out there. I am not invested myself in XRP, but I know many are out there. Is the Copa America game on Sunday the worst thing to ever happen here in Miami for a sporting event? There was that Florida State game, remember, where they ran out of water in the Orange Bowl? Remember that one, Sean? About 15, 20 years? No, 20 years ago it had to have been. About 20 years ago. Worst thing that happened in a sporting event. Oh, wow. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good, yeah, because we don't have a lot of bad things because we don't do any of this stuff in sporting events. Shit, dude. Damn, Frankie. Yeah. I can only think of running out of water and people were dehydrated. I think they ran out of water, I want to say like early third quarter or some shit like that. And so for almost a whole second half, there was no water in the stadium and it was like a big mess. I'm trying to remember what other like real, and that's not, people rioting, looting, and all that, tearing up a stadium. UMFIU brawl, Troy.
I was about to tell you that one. Troy popped it.
That's a good one right there. That's a good one. See, okay, so how do we look at it, Frankie? Is it worse that the players were brawling than the some of the fans? Or equal, or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, both are bad, but it would have to still be Saturday night because literally the damage you did was pretty disgusting.
Not only that too, but also the footprint it's left. It's like national and not going away. Whereas the UMFIU was on ESPN for a little bit, but that was about it.
Yeah. I mean, some things lived on from it. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see something. By the way, let me you know what? Oh, I should. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let us put some boom in it. Hold on. I got something. I got something for you all. You want to hang in there with me? You definitely want to hang in there. Hold on. I think I got it. Wait. Can I find it? Is the question. Here we go. Oh, no. Really? I thought for sure I had it. Damn, folks. I gotta tell you. I thought for sure I had some classics for you, to bring back. Anybody else can come up with something. Yeah, I think UMFIU, and then this would be the worst. Oh, man. I thought I had it, and I don't. I thought I had good old Lamar Thomas with the whole, FIU rants, because he was the broadcaster in those days for FIU, I think it is, or was it FIU or was it UM? No, I think he was was he doing just FIU? Or was it just here we go.
You come into our house, you should get your behind kicked. You don't come in the on be playing that stuff. You across the ocean over there. You across the city. You can't come over to our place talking noise like that. You get your butt beat. I was about to go down the elevator and get in that thing. I say, why don't they just meet outside in the tunnel after the ball game and get it on some more? We be saying right now, we ready, we ready, we ready. You want to come in here talking smack again? You want to come in here talking smack? It's time to get it on.
That was it.
You across the city. You can't come over to our place talking noise like that. You get your butt beat.
That's it, baby. That's it, right?
We ready. We ready. We ready.
That's right.
People have to understand this, and we talk.
I was about to go down the elevator and get in that thing.
Oh, that is awesome. There we go. That's the Lamar Thomas we got.
You coming to our house, you should get your behind kicked.
That's it. There you go.
I say, why don't they just meet outside in the tunnel after the ball game and get it on some more?
We have the classics. We have it all. We have Dave Lamont.
He is defenseless. He's defenseless. Don't you understand?
That's Dave Lamont going crazy in the booth because the referee didn't call the penalty.
I cannot believe that. I don't care. That's ridiculous. That's embarrassing. And I'll fight any one of you if you want it. That's the mood I'm in at the moment.
That's it.
That's a flag. Where's the flag?
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Dave Lamont.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, we stunk. The big boys.
There must be some pretty dumb teams in the league.
I think they took your microphone off.
That's the answer. I can act.
A little Marino for you there.
I just hope I do them proud. That's what I'd like to do, is just have fun and make all the Dolphin fans proud. I made Jim Carrey what he is today, and I don't get any credit for it. I made him a star. What can I tell you?
See? We've got classics all over, bro. We've got classics. We've got classic Mario Cristobal.
Popping pimples in a mirror.
Go.
Big, nasty dudes.
For these players, for these coaches, for this university, for our university community, it's an unbelievable day, a historic day, and one of the best stories in college football, not only this year, but college football history.
I think he's talking about FIU when he was there.
I want to rock and roll every single day.
See, Mario Cristobal wants to rock and roll. I didn't even know I had that.
I want to rock and roll every single day.
You see that? I had Mario Cristobal saying, I want to rock and roll every single day. I had no idea. Look at that. I mean, I got all kinds of classics here, bro. Mike Mayock breaking it down.
That's a good thing in NFL parlance, is having a bubble butt.
There you go. You got to do it.
I'm the juggernaut, bitch! Woo!
I mean, we've got all the classics here, baby. What's wrong with you all? What else do we have here? Any other classics that we got up here, huh?
So get your facts straight.
Damn. What else? You guys got anything you want me to come up with here? Any kind of let me see something here, because I may have some juicy stuff. Let me see something here. Let me see if I have anything that's really, really juicy from back in the day. Sometimes I can find some stuff that is real. You have no idea what I have. I have no idea what I have. I'm telling you. Sometimes it's just like crazy what I could have and what I don't. Let me see. I'm a man. I'm 40. I have that one. Yes, we have those. We have all the Mike Gundy stuff that you need. We got it all for you. We even got Bob Greasy.
My favorite, Bob Greasy.
Oh, let's see. Well, that's it. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I could find something that's kind of classic, but it has to, it's just, it's just something that, I don't know. Sometimes you find stuff and you don't know, should you play it? Is it worth it? That kind of stuff, because sometimes it's stuff that maybe you shouldn't play. Let me see. Does anybody know this?
This thing on? Good. Hi, this is Marvelous. This song, what did I say? This song in its entirety is not meant to disrespect any women in its entirety. Well, you know what I mean. All right, bring the track.
If your hoe only know that she was getting fucked.
Okay. We can't play the rest, but yeah, that's that's one of those. That's a classic that you just you got to kind of stay away from. You know what I'm saying? But anybody knows that one? Does anybody know the name of that song? Huh? Anybody know the name of that song? Got to be careful. I don't, it's there's a lot of history with that song, so you got to kind of stay away from that song.
Big O.
Right? Yes, stay away from it. It's not a good thing to play that song. All right. I think we're out of here. I think we're history. We're in the archives. We got nothing else to say. I think we've covered everything. We appreciate all of you out there. We thank Sean Stanley, as always, mastering the platform. We thank David Furones and Manny Navarro, as always. Thank you all out there. Appreciate every one of you.
Mamonis.
Well, I didn't say that. Danny DeVito said Mamonis, okay?
That's sweet. Maybe later you can chew the bark off my big fat log.
I didn't say that either. That was not me, okay? I didn't say that. That was just one of those things. Anyway, we will see you all tomorrow. Hey, wait a minute. Did we hit 65? There's a question. Did we go off the air with 65? Or we wait? No. 64,539. No 65, not yet. But soon you will get a 65. I promise you all. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel.
Enjoy the show.